What is going on, Internet? Another video coming at you from the Washington Football Report. This is JD. We're going to dive into this. So, this is actually a redo. I guess I filmed it and did not have the microphone on. So, I'm redoing this one. Kind of mad because it was like 30 minutes of tangent. But I guess there's some things I could clean up in it, like my language. I was very heated when I got into it. So, getting into Washington versus the Atlanta Falcons. It's actually 11:18 on a Sunday morning, and we got 2 hours for the game, so hopefully I have this out for the game. It's going to be the reaction to the Falcons and the prediction for the Saints. First off, reaction to the Falcons. Let's go over the Falcons offense. Matt Ryan, 4 touchdowns, 283 passing yards. Did pretty well. Made some moves with his feet. The running game was not very effective. 17 of those yards Matt Ryan got on the last possession. So really, if you knock those off, now we're down to like 82 yards. And they have to use a lot of gimmicky runs to be effective running the ball because they just don't have a good running back. Mike Davis is not effective at all. Cordell Patterson's a receiver who they run at running back just to give them like some kind of like versatility and put basically an athlete on the field in a spot where they can give them the ball. Washington's run defense has been pretty solid. I can't complain about the run defense. For the most part, it does its job. It slows it down, but the problem is it makes teams one-dimensional, and the dimension they have is just ripping apart our team. It's ripping apart our defense. The passing, ripping apart our defense. We've done better jobs of limiting certain players to like big plays. Other than like one big play in this game, we've basically limited that. But the biggest issue with our defense, and this is a continuously frustrating issue, is last year we were 6th on third down conversions. 6th in the league. The whole season. Now we're giving up they're over 50% clip. This is 10 for 16 for the Falcons. And the Falcons aren't great. They're not very good. They're honestly not. We're just not being good on third downs. That's above 50%. So every game we have some big third down conversion that keeps the drive going. Where some games for example, if we just got off the field on a couple big third down plays, we could have beaten the we could have easily, I won't say easily, but we could have definitely beaten the San Diego Chargers week 1. But we go on third and 17, we give up a 20-yard play. Doesn't in the fourth quarter when we need to get off the field. So I don't think that it's a good idea. I don't think the strategy we have with defense is working. If you're not certain what the strategy on defense, this is basically what the strategy has been. Is we have 4 defensive linemen on our team that are first rounders. So the real thing they want to do is they just send 4, drop 7, play zone, and just zone. It takes longer for plays to develop against a zone. And the reason why that is because you're not playing a man. If you're playing one-on-one and you have the better athlete, you're going to get open almost every time. But a zone, you cover areas. So it takes time for a receiver to recognize that and get into the gaps between players. That's why zone usually prevents teams from passing as much because it takes longer for the play to develop, and then it gives the defensive line more time to get there. Problem is the defensive line is not getting the quarterback, and they're not staying in the lane, so the quarterback's able to extend and pick our team apart. I think we should go man-to-man. It is very frustrating to me as a Washington fan, and if you're a fan that has the same frustrations, please comment down below, let me know I'm not alone. It is frustrating to me that Washington has a history of signing guys or drafting guys or picking up free agents that are good at one thing, but we run the exact opposite. So I'll give 3 good examples. We signed Albert Haynesworth, who one of the worst signings in the history of our team for a lot of reasons, but one of the worst signings ever, period, because he was a 4-3. He played a 4-3 with the Titans. And that's why he was so good. He just manhandled whoever's in front of him. It was hard to double team him because it opened up someone else. So they had to play him straight up, and that's why he manhandled him. That's why he was so good. Gets with Washington, they switched to a 3-4 after they signed him, and they forced him to play right over the ball, where over the ball gets double teamed almost every play. Completely eliminates his effectiveness. All that money wasted for a player who can't even play to his strengths. To be completely honest, can't even play to his strengths. I'm gonna check my camera real quick, make sure that's in a fine spot. I'll just put it down a little bit. There we go. So you don't even have like an advantage. You take away your advantage. The thing he's good at, you've eliminated. He's good at winning one-on-one battles, and you put him in a spot where he's gonna get double teamed every play. That's why he sucked with us. Another example is Washington signed Josh Norman. Josh Norman played for the 15-1 Carolina Panthers. The 15-1 Carolina Panthers played pretty much all zone. And Josh Norman was a good corner in zone. He's a zone cover corner. That's what made him so good. He's good at a lot of things. He's good at tackling, and he was good at getting forcing turnovers, but he was very good at zone coverage. Washington signs him, and guess what we play? We play man. And now the same stupid scenario with the same stupid scenario here. We sign in the offseason, we sign one of the best one-on-one corners in the league, William Jackson III, and he's a man cover corner, and we play zone. We have a lot of guys on our team that are like that play are like good enough to play. Zone helps for a couple reasons if you don't have the skill set to cover guys, and I get that, but you also aren't getting to the quarterback, so something has to change. Either you find a way to get to the quarterback, or you need to like utilize the talent you have. Kendall Fuller's a good slot corner as well, like man to man. And Benjamin St. Juste is pretty good as well. I don't understand why we're not utilizing those aspects. I get it. They probably want to like hide the fact that our linebackers suck. This week we're actually going to get tested to see if our linebackers did suck or if it was a scheme or what. Because Bostic's out. I think Cole Holcomb is either out or he was injured. But we're going to have some players that I wanted to play all along. I'd rather have Cleek Hudson. I'd rather have Cleek Hudson on the field. I maybe move Landon Collins up to play linebacker. Maybe run a 4-2 and have Landon Collins be like a rover or like some kind of like free-running linebacker or safety hybrid. Whatever case may be, just something's going to change. And whether it's Cleek Hudson, who's faster in coverage, or maybe it's Cleek Hudson and there's other changes, they really should switch to covering man. And what Ron's philosophy behind it is, I want everyone looking at the quarterback. Okay, fine, but like almost every game, someone gets like busted deep, and it's killed us. It's hit us in 2 games. It hit us against the Buffalo. I think it didn't hit us. It didn't hurt us against Buffalo or the Giants, but it definitely hurt us last week. And you get guys that get catches for like uncontested catches, and then like they can crawl into the end zone from where they catch the ball. Okay, it was just busted coverages. No, I don't like personally zone. And if I had something to show you like what I mean by like, I used to coach high school basketball, and I hate playing zone because zone there's no responsibility. You if you're looking at a 2-3 zone, if you ever like 2 and then 3 at the bottom, you have gaps in there. There's a gap here, there's a gap here, and a gap here. So whenever the ball's thrown here, whose responsibility is that? You can have that and then by then the guy can take a shot, the guy can penetrate, and your defense breaks down. That's basically what it is here. You're passing off responsibility, and whether it's communication or not, I think man-to-man fixes that communication. You cover that guy, done. That's your responsibility. That man-to-man fixes that, in my opinion. The whole passing players off and communicating that and make sure everyone's on the same page, that shit goes out the window as soon as you play man, and like that's your guy, cover him. Even if he goes and sits back there next to the quarterback, you cover him. Very simple. That's just my opinion. And in the scheme, he's Jack Del Rio is blaming the officials, and I'm not going to sit here and scold him for that. The officials have been horrible. They've been horrible across the NFL. It's not just Washington. I could go like there's a handful of them in this game. The guy's standing up and he's trying to fight for more yards, and he just gets hit. If he was been up for like 5 seconds, I understand blowing the whistle, but we stripped the ball from him, and it would have been a big momentum play, and it was taken from us. And then we get a sack for Chase Young, roughing the passer. There's just always this crap every week, and it's not even just the bad calls; it's the arrogance that they won't correct it. There was a play that happened against the Giants where they hand the ball off to J.D. McKissick, and he slipped and fell in the backfield, and he didn't like get up and keep running. He kind of like bounced forward a little bit. He dove forward a little bit, and then he got touched. They called him back where he fell. There wasn't a person within sight of him. It was just a bad call. And the arrogance of the referees, like no matter whether the call is right or not, I'm going to make myself look right, so I call that every time. I think it's just freaking stupid. I think it's really stupid. It's beyond arrogant. That even though we had the technology to get it right, you still choose to get it wrong. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so I've talked about the defense. They did a little better getting pressure on Matt Ryan, but Matt Ryan literally just sat there and picked them apart. They have to get pressure on the quarterback if they're going to win. We have to get off the field on third downs. Those are two things. We fix those two things, we're done. We're back to what we were. If our defense was what it was last year, third down conversion rate was like 30%, 37% I think is what it was. If we get back to that, and we get to the quarterback, we're going to be a playoff team easily. With the way our offense is scoring, if our offense could score like this last week, last year we'd have won a handful of games. Because the problem last year is we couldn't move the football. So our defense had to pitch a lot of shutouts. That's not the problem this year. We're going to have a little bit of a test today against the Saints. Because against the Saints today, we don't have all of our players. We have a handful of players that are injured. I'm going to look at the injury report for them. But our offense can score. Now let's go to the offense. I still have some gripes about the offense. And if you've listened to this channel, you know what I'm going to say. Gibson touched the ball 14 times. How do you freaking hand one of our best players? I mean, I think McLaurin's our best offensively, and then the second best is Antonio Gibson. How do you only hand the ball 14 times? He's averaging almost 5 yards a carry. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And if you're worried about getting him hurt, then run the ball more with like Jared Patterson or something. J.D. McKissick's not doing bad, but give Gibson the ball more. I don't understand this for the life of me, why our offensive coordinator is inept to put the ball in his best player's hands. Gibson should get way more touches than he gets, and he got 2 passes on him, I believe. Yes, 2 passes. 16 touches for our best offensive player. Not cutting it. I'm sorry. Not cutting it to me. Okay? It helps everything else. This team has had 3 straight games. 4 straight games, I'm sorry. Well, I'll go back to the defense for 2 seconds. 4 straight games, opening score on the drive. At least against the Falcons, it wasn't a touchdown. It was a field goal. But we can't score on the first drive because our offensive coordinator is not running balanced offensive plays. He's not run to set up the pass. He's not. Like, here's a good example of what you do offensively that sets you up for success down the road in the game. First down, you run the ball, you get 8 yards. This is what happened against, I believe it was the Buffalo Bills. First down, run 8 yards. Second down, push the ball downfield. Go for a deep shot. Okay? That's going to back up the defense the next time there's a 2nd and 3 or 2nd and 2. And they're going to go for another deep shot, which opens up an easy handoff for a first down or a short pass for a first down, whatever case may be. And you move the sticks. That's offensive logic there. Okay? Running the ball sets up the pass, and then you got to set up the pass to help the run. That's how it works. There's no rhyme or reason for any of this stuff. If it's scripted, the script is stupid. He tried to say, like against the Buffalo Bills, as Scott Turner, that he scripts the first series, and I think that's just stupid. I don't think he script anything ever. You call your first play and you play based on what the play results in. So if your script is to run the ball on first down, you get nothing, and your second play is you're assuming you got like 5 yards, and your second play is to go for like a 2-yard out, and then your third play is because you assume it was first down, is to run the ball again. That's your script. That doesn't make sense. Stop scripting plays and be an offensive coordinator. Play the hand you dealt in front of you. Make the best possible play. Set stuff up for future like possessions. Okay, moving on. Terry McLaurin had a fantastic game, but only had 6 catches. That's crazy to me. He only had 6 catches. I didn't know that while I was watching. 13 targets. They try to get him the ball more. That's good. McKissick should try to get him the ball more. Taylor Heineke, there we go. Should try to get the ball more. Taylor Heineke, to me, by the way, 290 passing yards. I think it's like a 70% completion percentage, 8.8 yards per throw, 3 touchdowns, almost a perfect passer rating, and a very good QBR. He's the starting quarterback the rest of the season. There's no debate with me. If what's-his-name comes back, I don't really care. Fitzpatrick come back and sit on the bench and relax. He's not. We have 1 sack again. So what is my takeaway from this game? We can score. That's basically what the offense can do. The offense can score points. It can move the ball. And I actually think they score points in spite of their offensive coordinator, personally. I think a lot of Taylor Heineke improvisation heroics. You can't tell me that Taylor Heineke, there's been 5 designed runs for Taylor Heineke and he got 43 yards on those, and that's all Scott Taylor's genius. No, it's Scott Turner's genius. It's not. It's Taylor Heineke improvising. the touchdown to J.D. McKissick it wasn't a great call play. It was a great play by J.D. McKissick. So on and so forth. And a lot of these guys didn't even get the ball throughout the game. Dondre Carter, he got one catch for 24 yards. That was on the last drive of the game. Adam Humphries, one catch for 19 yards. Last drive of the game. De'Ami Brown, one catch, 19 yards. Last drive of the game. A lot of these are guys getting the ball last drive of the game. They're not throughout the game. So a lot of these numbers here are a little bit skewed a little bit when you're looking at what people are getting. Like I said, 3 of these guys got one catch throughout the game, one target throughout the game, and that was on those are on the last drive. De'Ami Brown had one other target rather than this. Now, some people may say that's Terry McLaurin or Taylor Heineke not looking for his targets. Like, no, I don't think we're. I don't know. I don't think there's a rhyme or reason for it. I think he just goes to the guys open. That's like there's not a collective effort to get our tight ends involved for some reason. Logan Thomas was one of our better weapons last year, and he has not been targeted as much as he should be. He's injured in this game. I get that, but he's not targeted as much as he should be. So my takeaway from this is our defense really needs to get its shit together. Really does. And I will talk about the offensive line for a minute. The offensive line, I think, is the one squad on this team that's been a pleasant surprise. We're actually very good at run blocking. And we're also pretty good at pass blocking. I mean, Taylor Heineke got sacked one time in this game. So, yeah, Taylor Heineke is doing well. Offensive line is doing well. Tim McLaurin's doing well. Gibson would do better if he had more touches. And I think other role players are being as effective as they can be based on the restrictions around them. What needs to be fixed is our defense. Whether you got to switch to a man or whether you got to switch it up personnel-wise, which you're kind of forced to do this week with Bostic being out. He's out for the season, actually. Terry McTire tore his ACL, so he's out indefinitely. I think personally man-to-man would be the best route, especially in this team. This team, all they have really is they don't have a lot of help on the edges. You really just have Alvin Kamara. And Jameis Winston will sling the ball deep if you give him opportunities, and you can get picks. But we got to be able to get to the quarterback. We got to rattle him, and we have to be able to make plays as a defense when it comes to our secondary. So moving on and going to Washington's next game. I really have a lot more I could say about Washington and the play calling and things like that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to not have that play. Preview. No, I'm not going to have that play either. I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to pause this. And Washington is actually projected to lose based on, that's what matchup predictor is, what people are predicting. It's supposed to be a close game. We're plus 2.5, which means we're going to lose by about 3 points, or 2.5 points. I'm actually, they're showing their yardage. Terry McLaurin's actually doing better than Jameis Winston on the yardage aspect. He's actually thrown the ball more times too. But I think Jameis Winston missed a game and a half. Alvin Kamara's done well. Gibson's done well. But also, look at this. 20 more carries. Look at a team that knows what to do with their best player. Gibson's averaging 20 yards a game. He'd have up to over 300 right now if he had 20 more carries. He'd have way over 300. Probably 350, honestly. And receiving yards, yeah, we definitely have the better receivers. So New Orleans doesn't have great receivers. They just have good everything else. They have a pretty good defense, good running game, decent offensive line, and their quarterback's okay. So the big keys here is, let's see, teams, points per game, 25 points allowed per game. That's one of the biggest discrepancies here. Is the Saints can play defense. They stop teams from scoring. Total yards. Is this total yards allowed? Oh, there we go. Okay. Total yards per game. Washington 346. That's if we had that last year, we'd have won 4 more games at least. 3 more games at least. So, what's the big keys here? Well, first off, we have a lot of injuries. Is there an injury report on this? Is there an IR list? Injury report. Okay. So the big injury report here is for us. Cole Holcomb is questionable, and he'll probably be a game time decision. Cam Sims, I know he's out. Gibson's questionable. Samuel's questionable. Full injury report. There we go. That's what I want to see is a full injury report for Washington. Washington has a lot. Okay, so nope, that's the wrong team. Nope. I'm gonna go to Washington all the way down at the bottom because we need the W's. Okay, Washington. Deron Payne questionable. It should be should be expected to play. That's good. Curtis Samuel, groin. This is questionable against the Saints, and is set to go through a pregame warm-up, and he'll be decided at the game time, which is like an hour and a half. Antonio Gibson is expected to play. Cam Sims, what did he do? Hamstring. Okay, there's been a lot of hamstring injuries. Holcomb, shoulder injury. Yami Brown's out. I figured that. Logan Thomas on IR. I figured that. Torrey McTire's on IR. He tore his ACL. He's probably out for the season. Torn pec by Don Bostic. Brandon Sheriff, MCL sprain. Good news is I think we have some pretty good depth at the offensive line, so that's why I'm not going to hurt us as much. I mean, yeah, obviously, Patrick's out. Derek Forrest has been said to be out because they don't want him to end up on practice squad. They're afraid someone will snatch him up. Galen Jelks, I don't even know who that is, to be honest with you. So full on. Okay, so I'm not going to go over anything else right now. Basically, what I'm going to get to is Washington needs to do a couple things in this game. We can't rely on our defense to make stops. Okay, they're throwing the ball like our defense is pitching shutouts, and we can just do what we want and try to score. We have to make sure that we can actually eat up some clock and maintain some possessions. Run the ball. Okay, McLaurin has proven he can throw the ball. Or Taylor Heineke has proven he can throw the ball. Let him throw the ball when needs to be. We don't need him throwing the ball 40 times a game. Run the ball. Get Jared Patterson involved if we need to. Get J.D. McKissick, Gibson. Make it running back by committee. I don't have any one of these in fantasy, and if anyone does, who cares? If you run back by committee, but Gibson needs to be touching the ball at least 20 times a game. McLaurin needs at least 10 catches. And you have to have other guys step up as well. Cam Sims is one of those guys that usually when you need another guy to step up, he kind of does, but he might not play this game. So we need someone else to step up. And we need our defense to really step up. The defense needs to, this needs to be a game where the defense, does well, and it's kind of like a statement game. Because we have a rough patch coming up for our team. So, yeah, I'm going to let you guys, seriously, look at our rough patch we have coming up. Saints, tough team. Chiefs, Packers, Broncos, Buccaneers, Panthers are looking pretty decent. Seahawks are not bad. Raiders are not bad. Cowboys. Okay? That is a rough stretch of games. And if our defense can't do anything more than what it's doing now, we're going to lose all those games. Okay? And it's going to be a lot of heads are going to roll. So, but thank everyone for watching. This has been the Washington Football Report. If you're listening to us on podcast, please subscribe and share. I will share all this for you. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Hail to the Redskins. And let's go get this W. See ya.